Welcome to the From the Other Side live show podcast. The live show will begin in 2 minutes. Grab a snack and a drink and sit down to watch another one of our great live shows. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and share the live show video link. Enjoy the show. The live show will begin in 1 minute. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, hit the thumbs up, and share the live show video link.
Please like and leave a comment, and share this video.
Welcome to live show 102. Tyranny ends, the Globalists lose another. Streaming live from Minsk, Belarus on this Wednesday, January 8th. I'm Dave, your host for the evening, flying solo tonight. In today's lineup, we'll delve into Canada's Trudeau's stepping down. Could this mark the end of tyranny in the country? We'll also cover the latest updates from Belarus, developments in Kursk and Syria, the looming question of whether an attack on Iran is imminent, some news on P. Diddy, and as always, we will wrap up with our fan favourite segment, except Michael doesn't like it. You don't see that in Belarus. So please hit the thumbs up, share the video, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel you're watching the show on now, let's kick off the show with this.
Could be wrong, I could be right.
In a moment that couldn't have come soon enough, Justin Trudeau's Canada's very own poster boy for the globalist puppetry has finally announced his resignation. This isn't a farewell to a leader, it's an end of a dark era for Canada, one marked by tyranny, division, and blatant disregard for the freedoms that define our nation. Let's watch his resignation now.
Over the holidays, I've also had a chance to reflect and have had long talks with my family about our future. Throughout the course of my career, any success I have personally achieved has been because of their support and with their encouragement. So last night over dinner, I told my kids about the decision that I'm sharing with you today. I intend to resign as party leader, as Prime Minister, after the party selects its next leader through a robust, nationwide, competitive process. Last night I asked the President of the Liberal Party to begin that process. This country deserves a real choice in the next election, and it has become clear to me that if I'm having to fight internal battles, I cannot be the best option in that election.
Trudeau's tenure was nothing short of a disaster for the Canadian spirit. He came into power with promises of sunshine and openness, only to usher in an age of darkness where freedom of thought and expression was met with the full state of the force of the state power. His governance was a clear example of how globalists' agendas can infiltrate and corrupt a nation's leadership, turning it against its people. Let's start with his handling of dissent. During the infamous Freedom Convoy protest, Trudeau just didn't turn a blind eye to the grievances of his citizens, he actively persecuted them. He unleashed the full might of the emergency powers, freezing bank accounts of those who dared to protest against his mandates. This wasn't governance, this was tyranny. Canadians were made to feel like enemies within their own country for simply wanting to exercise their rights to protest against vaccine mandates and other draconian measures. His approach to immigration was equally disastrous. Under Trudeau's watch, Canada saw an unprecedented surge in immigration without the infrastructure to support it, leading to housing crises, overwhelmed public services, and a significant cultural shift that many felt was imposed without due consent. His policy was less about welcoming diversity and more about flooding the country to serve a globalist agenda, ignoring the voices of Canadians who were already struggling. And let's not forget the Zelensky curse. The notion that associating too close with Ukrainian President Zelensky will bring political misfortune. Trudeau's embarrassing moment in Parliament, where he unknowingly or maybe knowingly honoured a former Nazi soldier in the presence of Zelensky, was a diplomatic blunder that echoed around the world. It highlighted not only his incompetence, but also how his obsession with international optics had compromised Canada's integrity on the global stage. Perhaps this was the final straw that led to his political demise. Trudeau also pushed through mandatory vaccinations with an iron fist, turning his health policy into an authoritarian degree. Those who chose not to comply faced not just social outcast, but real threats to their livelihoods. This was a stark departure from Canadian values of personal choice and autonomy, transforming the society into one where compliance was coerced by fear and economic repercussions. His resignation is a relief, but it's also a warning. Trudeau was not just a leader gone wrong, he was a symptom of the larger disease: globalist manipulation through local politicians. His departure signifies a loss for those who see countries as pawns in a larger game of global control. As we look forward, Canada must heal from wounds inflicted by this tyrant in a suit. We need leaders who will prioritise the well-being of their citizens, respect their rights, and serve the nation, not globalist interests. Trudeau's exit is not just the end of his reign, but hopefully the beginning of a new chapter where Canadians can reclaim their sovereignty, their values, and most importantly, their freedom from such oppressive governance. The globalists have lost another puppet, and if there's any justice, this should serve a cautionary tale to others who might think to follow in his footsteps. Let this be the moment we say enough to those who would treat Canada, any country, as anything less than the free, strong, and united nation they truly are.
Could be wrong. I could be right.
For our subscribers on Rumble and YouTube, we've been posting specials on topics such as the collapse of Syria, Russian sanctions, and the US empire's overreach, debanking, the rules-based order, ice hockey games, and more. These specials are now scheduled every Monday and Friday each week. Additionally, you can join our Substack, where you'll find even more content. Substack posts accompanying the specials will also include extra insights, and every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, we'll share opinions and book reviews. Topics include Russia's resilience and why the nation remains indestructible, a fishy tale of sabotage in the Baltic, and a book review, The Extra-Tempestrial Model. So, subscribe to our Substack and Rumble channels to stay notified and access all this new great content. January 7th, yesterday, was Orthodox Christmas, and President Lukashenko congratulated Orthodox Christians of Belarus on Christmas. He said, "Dear compatriots, this holiday is imbued with the love of God, righteousness and compassion. It inspires acts of mercy and calls for peace and harmony. Christmas fills our souls with joy, gives hope for the fulfillment of cherished desires. Gathering with family and friends, we share the most important and intimate, think about eternal, enduring truths and meanings. Let this bright day become a source of spiritual strength, for new achievements and discoveries. I wish you good health, kindness, and mutual understanding. And on Christmas morning, the President headed to Kursk, to the Church of St. Nicholas of the Wondermaker, where he traditionally lit a Christmas candle and congratulated and commuted with the parishes, as you can see on here.
Вместе с Россией нас начали давить и душить со всех сторон. Пока та тактика и стратегия, которую мы определили, помогает нам удержаться не только на плаву, но и жить достойно. Скажем так откровенно, что каждый живет так, как он хочет. Вот это я уже сегодня могу спокойно сказать. Почему? Потому что если ты хочешь жить лучше, в нашем государстве такие условия созданы. Хочешь лучше? Господь всегда намекал на это. Надо просто больше трудиться. Не будешь трудиться, вы это прекрасно знаете, никогда лучше и даже хорошо жить не будешь. Поэтому мы преодолеем все сложности и трудности будущего года. Они связаны, я еще раз подчеркиваю, не только с давлением со стороны на наше государство. Этот год будет сложным еще и потому, что у наших друзей и соседей, с которыми мы торгуем, а торговля – это основа жизни любого государства, торгово-экономические отношения, у наших соседей ситуация непростая. Вы это видите. Если бы было нормально у них, у нас бы было очень хорошо.
Zelensky, in a podcast with Lex Friedman, stated that President Lukashenko apologized to him in the first days of the 2020 in the SMO. But the press secretary of President Lukashenko, Natalia Esmont, denied Zelensky's statement that the Belarusian apologized. She said the president of Belarus did not apologize to Zelensky for the simple reason that we have nothing to apologize for. First of all, because Ukraine, as we remember, was the first to introduce sanctions against Belarus, having run even ahead of America and the entire West. And about 30% of residents in the country watched as President congratulated Belarusians on the new year in 2025. The New Year's address of the President of the Republic of Belarus, Lukashenko, was watched on TV channels by about 2,650,000 people. And there were about more than 450,000 views on the YouTube platforms of the Republican media. Donald Trump has officially been declared the winner of the 60th United States presidential election by Congress, marking a historic return to the White House as he will serve as both the 45th and 47th President of the United States. This unprecedented political comeback sees Trump reclaiming the presidency after a term out of office, highlighting the volatile nature of American politics and the enduring influence of his brand of populism. His victory, following a contentious campaign and amidst numerous legal challenges, underscores a significant shift in voter sentiment, potentially reshaping the US domestic and foreign policy in ways that could echo his first term's aggressive economic nationalism, stringent immigration policies, and a focus on America First principles. Donald Trump's persistent rhetoric about turning Canada into 51st state of the United States and his equally fanciful notion of purchasing Greenland reflect a blend of nostalgia for a bygone era of American expansionism and a misunderstanding of contemporary geopolitics. The idea of annexing Canada, a sovereign nation with its own rich culture, history, and a complex relationship with the US, is as far-fetched as it sounds. Canada's independence, its strong national identity, and a deep cooperative yet distinctive separate relationship with the US through frameworks like NAFTA and now USMCA make the proposition of statehood not just unlikely but practically unthinkable. Moreover, Trump's interest in Greenland, the world's largest island, which I thought Australia was, and an autonomous country within the Kingdom of Denmark, borders on the whimsical. Greenland's strategic importance due to its location and natural resources might make it an asset in a different era, but the political and ethical implications of buying a territory in the 21st century are immense. The Greenlandic government and its people have made it clear that they are not for sale. Denmark has also supported this stance, emphasizing Greenland's right to self-determination. Both these propositions serve as more political theatre than realistic policy goals. They might resonate with segments of the US populace who are nostalgic for times when territorial expansionism was a part of American foreign policy, but they are disconnected from the realities of modern international law, national sovereignty, and the complex web of international relations. In an era where global cooperation and respect for national boundaries are paramount, Trump's comments on Canada and the Greenland remain pipe dreams. With no substantial chance of coming to fruition, they highlight a disconnect between grandiose political visions and the practical, often more nuanced realities in global diplomacy. So, is the North American Union back on the agenda? When Donald Trump shared this map, integrating Canada with the United States and dubbed Canada the 51st state, it's easy to brush off as a typical Trump theatrics. However, when you add his interest into Greenland, Justin Trudeau's resignation, and the reappearance of the Club of Rome's 10 Kingdoms map, you might start to question, is there a revival of the North American NAU agenda? The NAU was once a controversial proposal around 2008, envisioned by some as a union of the US, Canada and Mexico with a shared constitution and a new currency called the Amero. The plan aimed at erasing borders in the name of free trade, but it was met with significant public opposition, leading to its apparent abandonment. Or was it? Fast forward to the present, and the scenario seems to be repeating with new players. Greenland, with its strategic importance and rich resources, is reported back in negotiation discussions. Canada is portrayed as an economic burden on the US, its independence belittled. This is happening amidst escalating tensions over Arctic resources with Russia and China, where the US seeks to assert its influence over this untapped region. Let's listen to Trump on Canada.
Why are we supporting a country 200 billion plus a year? Our military is at their disposal. All of these other things, they should be a state. That's why I told Trudeau when he came down, I said, what would happen if we didn't do it? He said Canada would dissolve. Canada wouldn't be able to function. If we didn't take their 20% of our car market, they send us hundreds of thousands of cars. They make a lot of money with that. They send us a lot of other things that we don't need. We don't need their cars. We don't need the other products. We don't need their milk.
Here's the twist. Trump, once seen as an adversary to the globalist agendas, might be one of the ones to push through this plan. It could be the ultimate psychological operation, getting conservatives who previously opposed the NAU under Obama to support it under Trump. The same agenda, but with a new face, a cyclical nature of politics and power plays. For Canadians, this represents a clear threat to their sovereignty. Trump vocalises what was once only whispered. The pressing question is, why isn't Canada seeking alliances with the Global South or BRICS nations, which offers models of cooperation without being under Washington? Regarding Greenland, Trump's talk of purchasing it might just be jest, but a prelude to more significant geopolitical maneuvers. The Arctic represents more than just ice. It's about control over resources, new shipping routes, and global power dynamics. The stage is set and the elite might be gambling on public inattention. The North American Union isn't merely a conspiracy theory, but a stark reminder that national sovereignty can be precarious. The globalists, it seems, have not relinquished their grand visions. Whether it's labelled the NAU, Amero, or just business, the underlying aim remains the concentration of power, resources and control in the hands of a few. In response to Trump, Panamanian Foreign Minister Martina Acha stressed that the Panamanian Canal is only in Panamanian hands and will remain so in the future. So, Britain's hidden shame, grooming gangs, political cowardice and the collapse of justice. For years, the UK leadership was aware of the grooming gangs. They knew of the widespread abuse in towns like Rotherham, Rochdale and Telford, with over 1,400 children in Rotherham alone suffering between 1997 and 2013, and according to the J Report. Yet, in the face of this knowledge, they opted for silence, valuing their political correct image over the safety of their own children. Enter Elon Musk, who commented, "Yup," on this scandal, directly implicating Sir Keir Starmer, who once held the role of Director of Public Prosecutions. As DPP, Starmer was in charge during the period when grooming gangs operated with impunity. Now, he's ironically positioning as a justice advocate, which may seem as a cruel irony. Musk's critique extended beyond Starmer to the systematic failures where police, social workers and local officials all turned a blind eye, fearing reputational damage over child safety. This isn't cowardice, it's a policy of neglect, with each ignored child a testament to the failures of those in power. But this isn't just merely a UK issue, it's a reflection of the broader globalist agenda and strategy. In this narrative, justice is a luxury for the elite and silence is the cost of maintaining control. Whether under Labour or Conservative governments, the focus has been on maintaining a technocratic order rather than upholding the law and order. From Starmer to Rishi Sunak, the pattern continues. Overlook the abuse, defend the narrative, and discredit the truth-tellers. Musk is dismissed as a misinformed. Whistleblowers are accused of extremism, while the victims of those young girls subjected to horrific crimes are largely forgotten. This scandal unveils dark secrets, not merely an isolated incident, but a systematic betrayal. It reveals the decay of Western system where globalist leaders favour control over justice, ideology over ethics, and silence over accountability. This pattern isn't confined to Britain, it's a global phenomenon, with similar stories of neglect from Washington to Brussels. The only variation is a narrative they spin. Musk, no paragon of virtue, has exposed this hidden truth, but the real challenge is much larger than social media can address. Until the globalist agenda is confronted and true justice is prioritized, this betrayal will persist. Britain's darkest secret is not just a historical blemish, but a forewarning of the future. So, how much is the EU paying to wean off Russian gas? Despite loudly proclaiming their intent to break free from Russian energy imports, Europe's actions reveal more a complicated reality. Transitioning away from Russian natural gas is proving far more challenging than anticipated. European nations are now purchasing a record amount of Russian liquefied natural gas, or LNG, according to Bloomberg. These LNG imports have even surpassed the volumes of gas that used to flow to Europe via pipelines running through Ukraine. This shift comes as a critical moment. The European Commission recently admitted that EU gas storage facilities are depleting faster than last year, following Ukraine's suspension of gas transit to Europe. Adding to the strain, the Hungarian Foreign Minister highlighted that natural gas prices in the European market have risen by 20% since Ukraine officially stopped Russian gas transit last month. Europe's determination to undermine Russia, regardless of the economic toll, raises questions about strategy. In prioritizing geopolitical goals over economic stability, Europe risks earning the dubious title of the world's most champion of self-sabotage. The Ukrainian President's office is a place where they speak Russian. All internal meetings are conducted in Russian, said Arestovich, who worked as an advisor to the OP until January 2023. That guy. He commented on Zelensky's words in a podcast with Alex Friedman that he does not respect the people of Russia Federation and does not want to speak Russian because it is the language of weapons. Let's listen to him.
Все переговоры велись на русском, все разговоры за кадром велись на русском. Офис президента – это место, где говорят на русском языке. Все без исключения, включая Зеленского. Всегда никаких внутренних исключений не бывает. Это только официоз. Человек говорит, что я на своем языке родном, своем языке моей матери, на языке, которым сделал карьеру, вырос и так далее, я его не уважаю. Я не слышал ни одного совещания за все время в офисе, на которое было проведено не на русском языке. Я там провел 2,5 года. И каких 2,5?
Ukraine's audacious military incursion into Russia's Kursk region in early August last year was met with a resounding failure, leading to significant Ukrainian losses and no territorial gains. Despite the setback, in a surprising and maybe stupid move, Ukraine launched another offence in the same region just a few days ago, attempting to capitalize on perceived weaknesses in Russian defences. However, this second attempt has also failed miserably, with reports indicating that Ukrainian forces were unable to penetrate anywhere deep into Russian territory, suffering heavy casualties and lots of equipment losses. These repeated failures in Kursk not only highlight the strategic miscalculations of Ukrainian military planners, but also underscores the resilience and the preparedness of Russian defences in this border area. The current situation in Syria is marked by a significant shift following the unexpected collapse of Bashar al-Assad's regime in late 2024. After 13 years of civil war, Syrian rebels, predominantly led by HTS, have seized control of major cities, including Damascus, signalling a new chapter for the nation. However, the country remains in flux, with various rebel groups controlling different regions, leading to a complex power dynamic. Humanitarian needs are at the all-time high, with millions still displaced, both internally and as refugees, and reliant on aid. The displacement crisis has been exacerbated by recent escalations in violence, particularly in the northeast, where crime and intergroup clashes have surged. Despite the fall of Assad, the path to peace is unclear, with ongoing challenges in governance, security, and rebuilding a fractured nation. And you can check out our specials on this subject on Syria's collapse and the Syrian quagmire, both on our Rumble and YouTube channels. It seems Israel is on the brink of launching a significant military operation against Iran with the clear intention of drawing the United States into the fray. The Israeli leadership, feeling the pressure of Iran's nuclear advancements and regional provocations, see this window before Donald Trump's inauguration as possibly the last opportunity for decisive action under the current administration. There's a strategic calculation at play. Israel believes that with Trump's known pro-Israel stance, the incoming US president might be more inclined to back or at least not oppose an aggressive move against Iran. The urgency stems from recent escalations, including Iran's retaliatory missile strikes on Israeli soil and the perceived weakness of Iranian deterrence. Israel's military maneuvers, involving the strategic positioning of munitions and conducting Air Force exercises, suggest preparations for an imminent strike, potentially aiming to disrupt Iran's nuclear program before Trump takes office, thereby forcing the US into a conflict whether it's ready or not. Now let's have some P. Diddy news. Prosecutors are offering Sean Diddy Coombs a path to freedom, but it comes with a significant condition. They are pressing him to reveal the identities with the alleged network of his trafficking ring, which includes celebrities, athletes, studio heads, agents, and influential business figures. Looks like he's going to be Epsteined. The deal on the table is clear. If Diddy cooperates by naming names, he could secure bail and avoid remaining custody as he awaits trial. However, this proposition comes at a time when multiple new allegations have surfaced against him, including claims from 3 men who accuse him of drugging and sexually assaulting them between 2019 and 2022. One accuser alleges an assault in a hotel after discussion of unpaid wages, while another claims he was drugged in a nightclub and recorded during the assault. Diddy vehemently denies these allegations, labelling them as fabrications. The legal troubles for Coombs have escalated further, with Jennifer Lopez named in a lawsuit relating to an alleged assault by Coombs on inmate Derek Lee Cardello Smith in 1997. Lopez is listed in the court documents, but not accused of any wrongdoing. Rather, she might possess crucial information relevant to the case. Meanwhile, a refiled lawsuit now includes Jay-Z, accusing him of, alongside Coombs, of raping a 13-year-old at an MTV Music Awards after party in 2000. The accuser, known as Jane Doe, seeks unspecified damages under New York's Gender Motivated Violence Protection Act. Coombs is currently detained in the Metropolitan Detention Center in New York following the charges of racketeering and sex trafficking, has seen his bail request denied, with his trial set for May 5th. Additionally, the identity of one of Coombs' accusers, Anne Kane, has been revealed after she initially filed her lawsuit anonymously. She alleges that she was assaulted by Coombs and others at a recording studio when she was in high school. The legal landscape around Coombs is further complicated by rumours of a video allegedly showing him in sexual acts with a high-profile individual, which was reportedly being shopped around. Let's watch that video. Obviously not the one of the alleged sexual acts. I haven't got that one.
I just hired a local counsel in California. We will be filing that lawsuit within the week. I also was just recently contacted by someone who wanted me to essentially represent them in the sale of one of the Diddy tapes. So, which I declined that because...
Wait a minute, say that again. Say that again, back up. You're saying that there's tapes and they're being shopped?
Yes, there have been people already shopping.
We've heard about the tapes, but
yes.
The shopping thing is...
Yes, there already have been tapes leaking around Hollywood, being shopped around to individuals in Hollywood. But one particular person contacted me to shop a particular video they were in possession of, and to contact the person who was in the video to see if they were interested in purchasing the video before it became a public knowledge.
I've heard this before, so like a catch and kill.
Catch and kill, correct.
Wow, can you, and I guess you can't reveal the person who is on
No,
this
I can't
tape.
Explain who the person was, but Mr.
High profile?
Combs, Mr. Combs was in the tape, and this other person is, I would venture to say, more high profile than Mr. Combs.
Really? Really? And you've seen it?
I've seen stills of the video.
Okay.
So
you can verify
that it exists, that it's real, that the other person in the video is very visible. It's no question if it's that person in the video, and I can tell the video is pornographic in nature.
United Sword 2024b, China's Strategic Military Preparations. Part 1, Defending National Unity. Taiwan stands as a critical issue for China, symbolizing not just territorial integrity, but also the core of its national unity. The People's Republic of China has been clear. Taiwan is an inalienable part of China, and any move towards independence, particularly supported by foreign powers like the United States, is seen as an intolerable challenge to its sovereignty. Part 2. A new focus on maritime power. Historically, China's military strategies have been more land-centric, with less emphasis on naval prowess. However, recent developments, including the ongoing provocations in the Taiwan Strait and broader geopolitical shifts, have compelled China to assert itself more forcefully in maritime domains. This shift was vividly demonstrated during the United Sword 2024b military exercise conducted by the Eastern Theater Command on October 14, following an earlier exercise, Joint Sword 2024, in May. Part 3. United Sword 2024b, Objectives and Operations. The United Sword 2024b was not just another routine drill, it was a comprehensive operation aimed at blockading key areas. For the first time, the exercise focused on blockading major Taiwanese ports like Taipei, Keelung, Taichung, Kaohsiung, and Hualien. This signifies China's readiness to use naval and air forces to isolate Taiwan, showcasing a capability to control maritime access in response to any separatist movements. Total seizure of control, beyond mere military dominance, the exercise intended to simulate the complete control over Taiwan, encompassing not only military, but also cultural, economic, and technological aspects. Expanded joint operations. The involvement of both military and Coast Guard operations indicates a broader strategy, especially in light of continuous U.S. naval presence in the region, which China perceives as provocative. Part 4. Strategic Implications and Global Response. A statement of capability. By conducting these exercises, China is not only preparing for potential conflict, but also sending a message of its readiness and capability to the international community, particularly to the U.S. and its allies. Missile demonstrations. The recent tests of the Dongfeng 26 missile, known for its ability to target moving aircraft carriers, underline China's advancements in military technology, emphasizing its defensive and deterrent capabilities against perceived threats. Political context. President Lai Ching-te's administration in Taiwan, with its stance on independence and apparent alignment with U.S. interests, adds fuel to the already tense relations. China views these developments as part of a larger U.S. strategy to contain its rise, hence its military posturing. The conclusion. China's military exercises around Taiwan, particularly United Sword 2024B, reflect a nation preparing not for war, but for the defense of what it considers its sovereign territory. The message is clear. Taiwan is a red line, and any attempt to cross it will be met with decisive action. China's approach combines military readiness with a strategic display of power, aiming to deter rather than provoke, yet fully prepared if the situation escalates. The international community, particularly the U.S., watches these developments closely as Taiwan remains a flashpoint in global geopolitics.
Although I said at the start of the show there will be You Don't See That in Belarus section, there will be none tonight because just didn't have time to get the videos together. Sorry about that, but we'll be back with that next show, 103. Thanks for joining us today and watching the show. Please hit the thumbs up, and if you enjoyed the content, share the video to spread the word, and don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. We'll see you on Sunday for show number 103, where my co-host will be back with us. Until then, take care and bye.